The old mansion on the outskirts of town had always been a source of mystery and intrigue. For years, locals had whispered about the strange occurrences that took place within its walls. But when a young couple, Emma and Jake, decided to purchase the house and fix it up, they were determined to uncover the truth behind the rumors. As soon as they moved in, Emma and Jake began to notice strange things happening around the house. Objects would move on their own, doors would slam shut without explanation, and they could hear strange noises coming from the attic. At first, they shrugged it off as their imagination, but as the occurrences became more frequent and terrifying, they knew something was amiss. Emma and Jake decided to do some research on the history of the house. They discovered that the mansion had been built in the 1800s by a wealthy businessman named Samuel. Samuel had been a cruel and abusive man, and it was rumored that he had murdered his wife and children in the house. As Emma and Jake delved deeper into the history of the house, they uncovered something even more sinister. Samuel had been a practitioner of dark magic and had used the house as a place to perform his rituals. It was said that he had summoned an evil entity that had consumed his soul and remained in the house to this day. Emma and Jake knew they had to get out of the house, but it was too late. The evil entity had taken control of the house and was determined to keep them trapped inside. Emma and Jake were consumed by fear, unable to leave the house or even move from room to room. They tried to call for help, but the phone lines were dead, and the windows and doors were sealed shut. Emma and Jake were trapped, at the mercy of the evil entity that had consumed Samuel's soul. They spent months trapped in the house, living in constant fear of the entity's wrath. Emma and Jake were slowly driven to the brink of madness, their minds consumed by the terror of the house. Finally, one night, Emma and Jake were able to break through a window and escape the house. They ran as fast as they could, never looking back. But even as they left the house behind, they knew that the evil entity would always be there, waiting for its next unsuspecting victims. Years passed, but Emma and Jake never forgot the horrors of the old mansion. They never spoke of it again, but the memory of the evil entity that had trapped them within its walls remained with them forever. After their escape from the mansion, Emma and Jake struggled to come to terms with the trauma they had experienced. They were plagued by nightmares and flashbacks, and their relationship began to suffer. Emma was convinced that the evil entity was still following them, and Jake couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. They sought help from a therapist, but their sessions only seemed to make things worse. Emma and Jake were convinced that the therapist didn't believe their story, and they were too scared to go back. Desperate to find a solution, Emma and Jake turned to a spiritual advisor. The advisor listened to their story and assured them that they were not alone in their suffering. She revealed that the mansion was still haunted by the evil entity, and that it had a strong hold over the house and the surrounding area. The advisor suggested that they perform a ritual to banish the entity and cleanse the house of its negative energy. Emma and Jake were skeptical but desperate, so they agreed to try the ritual. The ritual was intense, and Emma and Jake felt the entity's presence in the house more strongly than ever before. But as they recited the incantations and performed the ritual, they felt the entity's power begin to weaken. When the ritual was finished, Emma and Jake felt a sense of peace wash over them. They were finally free from the entity's grip, and they knew that they could move on with their lives. Emma and Jake returned to the mansion one last time to close the chapter on their traumatic experience. They sold the house and never looked back. They were grateful that they were able to escape the evil entity's grasp and find closure. Years passed, and Emma and Jake never forgot the horrors of the old mansion. But they were able to move on with their lives, free from the entity's terror. The mansion still stands, but it is said that the entity has never been seen again. The locals avoided the place, and it was left abandoned, and the memories of Emma and Jake's experience were slowly forgotten, but the evil entity still waiting for its next victim. If you like this video, please give it a like and share. Subscribe the channel for more amazing stories.